All right, hey guys, so for the first video, we're going to cover the injector install. As far as the crossover tubes go, we got injector hold downs, and then we have the injector themselves. So we're going to get the valve cover pulled off here. We're going to get these all set up, and then we have Noah to help us here today again. Much appreciated. So let's go ahead and get the valve cover pulled off. We'll show you which injectors we went with, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got the valve cover pulled off. And so the idea of what we're going to do is we're just going to end up dropping each injector down the injector hole. The good thing about VP is you don't have to remove the rockers to take the injector out or install them. So we got one off. We're going to get the other 5 pieces of tape off. For injectors, what we got, I mentioned it in the intro video, kind of explaining everything, the whole entire fuel system. But what this is a Flux 7x11 200 horsepower injector. Went with that just in terms of the turbo we're going to run to start out with the build. It's going to pair real nice. These are going to have low smoke, low idle haze. They are 7-hole injectors, so it's going to atomize the fuel better. It's not going to have any smoke, any unburnt fuel. So this is going to be a good clean setup to start out with, still supply the horsepower that we need. So we're going to get all this, all the injectors kind of laid out on the table. Right now we did get injector hold downs all cleaned up. Plus, we put a fine layer of a WD-40 on them, so they are a little bit lubed before we install them. And then we have the injector hold down hardware. So we're going to go ahead and get all this laid out, and we'll go from there and start installing them. So if anyone's curious, this is what your typical VP44 injector looks like. There's where the crossover tube will slide into it and get a good seal, so we're not leaking any fuel. Let me set the camera down real quick. And then I don't know if this will zoom in far enough, but you can see the 7 holes on the very end of the injector nozzle. So, and the Flux is one of the best when it comes to VP44 injectors. So, this is basically it in a nutshell. 7x11, 200 horsepower Flux Mach 5s. And so you have a genuine Bosch body, so all genuine parts, and then they just modify it for a 7x11. So we'll go ahead and get this installed, and we'll show you what to do moving forward. All right. So the easiest way on installing one of these injectors is go ahead, and if you have a stock application, your valve cover bolt is the same thread pitch. It just so happens that the thread pitch for my Beans valve cover is the same thread pitch. So what you want to do is, this is the easiest way to drop the injector down, where you don't drop it and it goes everywhere. So what we want to do is, this kind of lines up with your injector hold down, and you know that your cross tube is coming this way. So you just want to kind of line it up the best you can. We'll set it down in the injector hole like that. Just kind of eyeballing it right here. We know that it needs to go that way. So we'll just set it down right there. I won't set it or anything. And so we'll just kind of have it right there for now. And then the good thing is, with the injector hold down, with this notch that's sticking out right here, that'll, once you get that set on top of the injector in the slot that it has, it'll automatically align for your crossover tube. And then for your injector hold down, the open port or the open slot on your bracket is always facing towards your rocker arm. So that way you can go down in here with this. You have a little like separated bolt, I guess you can call it, a little slotted bolt where this will slide into, and then the other bolt right here is what clamps everything down. So we'll go ahead and get this first one installed, and then we'll take a look at it afterwards. We'll also do the crossover tube at the same time, so everything's kind of tied together, and then we'll just knock them out one by one going down there. All right, so once you get to this step, you can go ahead, and I have my hand on top of the injector. The crossover tube port on the injector is facing out, so we can go ahead and just push until you hear a firm click. Right there, that's it. You can go ahead and back your valve cover bolt out, and then we'll go ahead and get a side view of the crossover tube hole where you can see everything is lining up. I don't know if the camera will zoom in, but we'll do our best to show you. Okay, so right now here's looking through the crossover tube hole in the head. You can see right there, it's not focusing, but right there in the middle of the screen, you can see the little port on the injector. So we know that we're lined up. You can kind of zoom out and get a better understanding of where we're at. So that's lined up, and then the crossover tube will just mate up with that, get a good seal, and we should be good to go. All right, so now since everything's lined up, we're gonna go ahead and put the hold down on. I started this by hand. the back bolt where this will just slide into. Starting it by hand. I'll come back with a wrench. I think it's an 8mm, and go ahead and torque it down. But just for simplicity of directions and showing you how to install it, then this will just slide in here. This little slot on the hold down matches the slot in the injector, and then we go ahead and slide that in there, and it will drop in. All right, so now since we got everything mocked up, I'm gonna go in there with an 8mm. That's what the hold downs are, and just go ahead and tighten this one up. So go ahead and tighten that one up. Snug's good. It calls for 89 inch-pounds. You don't want to get it too tight. They're not that big of a thread or a pitch. So once we get that one tight, we can go ahead, grab our injector hold down, and this one does require a torque spet. We can just slide this part into the slotted part of the bolt. Once we get that in there, right there, we're going to torque this to 89 inch-pounds, which is about 7.5 foot-pounds. Good thing I have a torque wrench that goes all the way down to 5 foot-pounds, so we'll go ahead and adjust this back. The funny thing is the less the foot-pounds, the longer it gets for more torque. There's 5, 6, 7.5. All right. We'll go ahead and grab that last bolt. Start it by hand, and then we'll apply just ever so slightly, 7.5 foot-pounds. Which is a little bit more than I thought. There we go. And that is what you do for every single one of them. We'll go ahead and just jump straight to the cross tube, get that installed. And then from there, that's just, the rest of them are just the same. So, all right, so crossover tube, these are from Weston at Infinite Performance. It does have the edge filter cut out of them. There's nothing restricting the flow of fuel from here to your injector. And we do have a 2-micron filter on our air dogs, so we're okay. We don't need that edge filter. We want all the fuel we can get. So we're just gonna end up taking it. I'm just gonna do part number side up and go ahead and slide it in here, kind of right there where it's firm. You just give it a good push, and it should snap into place, lock into place just like our injector did. So we'll go ahead and push it in. All right. Right there, it bottomed out, so we're good to go. And then the only thing left to do is, let's just use this injector line for example. What's going to clamp everything down is the nozzle, the cone-shaped head on the injector line, plus this into the head. That's going to clamp everything down to make sure everything's tight and getting a good seal against each other. So from there, then we'll do this for the rest of all 5 injectors, and set you on a tripod and time-lapse it for you.
camera, action.
All right, so that basically will wrap up how we installed all the injectors. Basically, if we want to go over it one last time as a recap, you want to install your injector with the valve cover bolt, press it down to its seats. You can kind of feel it. It has a firm seat in it. Make sure that everything is lined up for the crossover tube. Once you push that in there, you're good to go go ahead and put the back injector hold down nut or bolt on. Then go ahead and torque this down to 89 inch-pounds. If you have a torque wrench that only goes to foot-pounds, 7.5 is right on the mark. So torqued everything down. Do that for the same, working all the way through 1 through number 6. And there you go. So we have injectors and crossover tubes installed. That'll kind of wrap up this video. It's going to be a quick video, but like I said in the intro, we're just going to break this down segment by segment, really compile the videos out and get content out there for you guys. So yeah, that'll conclude this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.